It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. You are most welcome to yet another beautiful day, another beautiful episode of Humanism TV Africa. And my name is Kato Mukasa. Welcome once again. Of course, in the studio is Dennis Bongole, who is our producer based right in Uganda. And Brian Kabeko is based in Kenya, and of course, a team of panelists that we work with. Of course, there is Obasi in Nigeria. Obasi, good morning.
Good morning, Comrade Kato. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for being part of the TV network. And of course, we look forward to having your ideas, your views, your opinions, your verified facts on today's set. Now, we shall be joined by comrades from all over Africa. Of course, we're going to have Nana Kufo from Ghana. Mambo Emmanuel from Sierra Leone, and of course, we shall be having others joining in as we move on. Now, today we are discussing something very important, but before you go there, I want to encourage you to share our videos, to share our content, and of course to subscribe to this YouTube channel so that we can be able to get these free content, these free episodes, and you can also be able to sit in your sitting room. Remember, we are the only TV station that will give you something that you don't need to run away. You can watch this with your grandmother, with your mother, with your children, with your brothers, because what we speak is nothing but the truth, and we define our morality. Now, that's where we're going to be coming right there. Now, what we discuss with you, you can simply have this TV show anywhere because it's the truth. It doesn't hurt anyone that dares to think. Now, that is the YouTube channel. Please do subscribe. Hit it, subscribe, like, share, and make sure that many people happen to know who are the guys behind Humanist TV Africa. Now, today we're going to be discussing morality. I took like 3 minutes before we went on site to look at my book because, uh, of course, I definitely knew that whatever we're going to discuss, I've researched it. It's in my book, but I've been very confident. And I'll make sure that I'm going to send this copy to all panelists of this TV. This book, Modern Humanism, has everything to do with humanism, everything you need to know with humanism, especially modern humanism. But I trace that humanism from the ancient one. Morality, I discussed it in chapter 6. Obviously, I'm going to make sure that you get this copy of this book and you read and see the research, the thoughts put here. Now, whatever.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Welcome, Nana Coffee.
Thank
Kufo.
you, Comrade Kato. Kufo, yeah.
Of course, we had the Kofi Annan, and don't worry if I call you Kofi.
Yeah, Kofi.
Uh,
And we also had Kufo,
and we also have had Kufo,
ex
yeah, Kufo,
former President Kufo.
and Nana Kufo, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been following the history. I've been around for some time, and I'm only blessed that I read a lot. I read widely. I know the history of Ghana. I can, if we have a program about Ghana, I can take an hour talking about Ghana. In fact, I can
Wow.
trace Ghana from the gold trade, and I trace Ghana, how Ghana connected with Europe, how actually Ghana was feeding the rest of Europe at one time, how Ghana was the largest, richest empire at one point. When I say Ghana, of course, there was no Ghana, there were the kingdoms.
Yeah, okay.
But that's not the history of today. Now, today we're talking about morality. Morality. And then I'll request you when you get time to put the cover of my book, Modern Humanism, on the screen so that people can be able to see it, because we want you to support us by buying our works. Otherwise, how are you going to manage the airtime and the data to be online? We can only manage when you buy our works, please. And then we'll be showcasing my book as I talk, of course, for like 3 minutes. Then our faces can be shown. Now, in that book, Modern Humanism, everything regards humanism, I'm sure I handled it. That's why I'm going to share it with everyone that is willing to share it. In fact, today I was asking, 10 commitments. When I checked my book, it was already there, including the diagram I was looking for. It was already there, the 10 commitments of humanism. Now, of course, that's the 10 commitments. I was asking Dennis, yet it was on my chapter 15. It was already there. So whatever is about humanism, I covered it in my book here. Now, today we are talking about morality. Now, I want to invite you, friends. Obasi, I'll start with you. What is your understanding of morality? When we are done, we shall straight away go to Ghana, Nana Kofi.
Well, what I understand about morality is that morality is nothing without humanity. Without humanity, there is no morality. In a nutshell, I would just say that morality is what governs human conduct to attain a happy life. That is morality. So any moral codes that does not encourage a happy human being is no morality. It's confusion. It's confusion. That is why I think there cannot be morality in religious books, because they teach you to act in a particular way, whether good or bad. And if you don't act in that way, if they tell you to kill in some of these holy books, it becomes moral to kill. And if you don't kill, you become immoral. But the question would be, would killing be moral? Taking lives in some unjustifiable way. Will, will it ever be said to be moral? So that is, in a nutshell, what I understand by morality. Morality should encourage happiness. Morality should encourage advancement, not hypocrisy, not teaching people to have lopsided values. So there should be that essence of happiness. There should be that essence of development. There should be that essence of civilization promoted by an even morality, not teaching us hypocrisy. So any purported moral values that does not encourage being us, that does not encourage fairness, that does not encourage sincerity, is no morality. I will
Thank you
stop
so
here for now.
Thank you so much, Obasi. Thank you so much, Obasi. Of course, Obasi is a lawyer. I haven't introduced him, of course, but of course, for those of you who are just joining us, Obasi is a lawyer based in Nigeria, and of course, we have Nana Kufo, a journalist based in Ghana, and we are all happy to be here and happy to be humans. You are right, Obasi. I will just come to that in a minute, but let me first go to Ghana. Nana Kufo, what is morality?
Thank you, Comrade Kato and Comrade Obasi. Yeah, from my little knowledge, morality is the cause consciously adopted by mankind or human beings or a society to bind them together so that they can achieve a common good. Personally, human beings have personal morality, which is that this aspect of morality is individualistic to them. And we have morality that exists in groups. Biologically, as we said the other time, we've seen mothers of squirrels giving food to their young ones, which is a biological morality, which is an instinct of continuity, an instinct of survival. However, for human beings to come together to exist peacefully, we have to be deliberate and build some moral codes or some principles that will bind us together more or less in a social contract. So, with my little knowledge, I think morality exists from this social contract, which allows all of us, it gives us freedom and the wills to do a certain aspect of things that conforms the society. And also, it also forbids us, or it also prevents us from doing something that will harm the society or even the individual self. So I think that is how I understand morality.
I want to thank you so much, and I want to say it here that actually you have a lot of knowledge. You have a lot of knowledge. You don't have to be apologetic about it. You have lots of knowledge there, and you have got it exactly right. Now, Dennis, may you please put for me the cover of my book, because I'm going to read from it directly, so that people can uh, see or hear one paragraph on page 49 what I talk about morality. Let me not speak it out, let me read it. Now, on page 49, this is what I say about morality. Morality is largely about the principles which help us to distinguish between right and wrong, or good and bad. Morality is the extent to which we judge one action to be right and another to be wrong. It is the moral goodness or badness of something. We are expected to be rational when deciding on what is morally right and wrong. Modern humanism requires us to examine claims on morality and think critically, ask questions on what is and should be morally right and wrong. Dennis, I'm back. Thank you so much. I wanted to read from my book. Dennis, I wanted to read from my book so that I'm more authentic, because I took years writing this. That is a book written by me on page 49. That's my Bible. Now, that's my Bible. Karl Marx wrote the Communist Manifesto. Kato Mukasa wrote a book on modern humanism, and he called it his own Bible. Now, morality, I've defined it. And Obasi has defined it. And Nana has defined it. And all of us, you see, we converge. None of us have gone beyond. Because the common factor here, the common denominator here is that morality is our ability to say this is wrong and this is right. Not so.
Yeah.
Common denominator. That's the common denominator. Now, as a lawyer, I can take you through history thousands of years ago. I can take you to the first people who gave us laws. Forget about Adam. Forget about Moses. I can take you as far as Hammurabi. You have heard about Hammurabi. I can take you as far as Hammurabi. Then you talk about the mythical Moses with his so-called 10 Commandments. Now, we can go back into law to understand the genesis of moral codes and how these moral codes translated into the so-called modern day constitutions. But we also know that each society, each setting, each community, each family, in fact, we begin with the family level, had its own code of conduct. And this own code of conduct defined what is morally right and what is morally wrong. That's why today we say that that is wrong and that's right. And the question comes, I'll go back to Obas because now it's a discussion for the benefit of our viewers, because we are here to learn, to relearn, to unlearn. And we are here to help our audience see a difference between our TV and others where people simply talk about God and gods and miracles. Now, going back to Obasi, when you talk about morality, looking at Ghana, looking at Uganda, looking at Nigeria, looking at Africa, looking at the world, do you think that morality is universal? Do you think that morality can be defined per society, or everywhere you go to have the same measure to define morality? How is it in that regard? Universal, per setting, per family, per society? How do we interpret this to a common man to understand morality, to begin our appreciation? Because we want to educate them slowly by slowly, brick by brick, to understand where humanism comes in. Obasi.
Okay, thank you once again. I would say that morality has over time been given some sort of misconception. That is why looking at Nigeria, Ghana, Uganda, and other parts of the world, we cannot say that we have a universal morality. What we have there is a relative morality. Given that, morality have been hijacked by belief in superstition, religious bigotry, and the rest of them. But the only thing for me that can make morality a universal phenomenon is that quest to seek human happiness, is that quest to seek human well-being, not the quest to assert subobnoxious culture, patriarchy, discrimination, whether racial, tribal, or xenophobic. It's far from morality. That is why morality in Africa, in some parts of the world, to some extent, I'm not generalizing, to some extent, I would say is relatively dangerous. Yes. But what would have made morality? That is where, though, let me not fast forward, that is where humanism comes into morality. What would have made morality universal is that quest to seek human well being and human happiness and human development. But it is quite unfortunate that we have dampened and played down on this quest and came up with some moral codes, some supposed moral codes that tend to hurt humanity instead of promoting our happiness. So that is what I have to say for now.
Thank you much. Thank you very much, Obasi. Obasi is a lawyer in Nigeria. Of course, we're discussing morality. Now, in the studio, we have been joined by another panelist, Emmanuel Mambo from Sierra Leone. Emmanuel Mambo, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, cousin.
Yeah, we are discussing morality today. What's your understanding of morality?
Morality is about. I think morality and humanism. If you actually understand what is humanism and then you try to understand morality, I think they go side by side. Morality is also refers the behavior about the way you treat others and also acceptance, of behavior, whether wrong or right. Um, because if you look at the types of morality, looking at the religious morality, the morality and nature and individual morality and social morality, and you look at the concept of humanism, I think they are like twin brothers. They work together in and in a good way to promote the human life and also to live a moral life. But and the concept of putting morality, like when you're speaking about the coexistence of all humans and irrespective of their culture, tribe, nation, or race, or also doing unto others as you want them to do unto you. These are what we are talking about morality, about treating every individual as the same. Because if you don't want to be hurt, I think you will not want others. I mean, you will not hurt others. So this is what I do understand about morality. And in treating people, like we have to behave in the society um, as if everyone is the same, as if everyone is equal, and being in living in a life that you will not take superstition highly than your own conscience, than what you think for yourself, is what morality is always talking about. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, the viewers, of course, are more knowledgeable than ourselves. I always want to assume that, and therefore we keep on learning from them as they keep on learning from us. Now, for us, it's free spirit, freestyle. We are discussing today the question of morality, and we are saying, in a nutshell, that morality is that ability to judge between what is good and between what is wrong. Now, I did ask a question that is morality universal? Now, Obasi did give his take. I want to go to Ghana. Nana, Nana Kufo, is morality universal?
Wow, it's a difficult question. And morality, to me, to me presently, or with modern humanism, morality must be universal, or morality is universal. But if you if you read history, you will realize every set of people, every group of people have quite different codes and modes of morality. And I want to give an example about self-morality or individualistic morality. If in our culture, if you commit suicide, it is immoral. Even the laws of our country deems the dead body um, a, a culprit, or the dead, like the dead person, if even the state have the chance, can be sued or can be taken to court, because the constitution frowns on suicide, which I think is, for the society, it is good for the society, because every society want to reproduce so that they will get more able people to fend and fight and work for the society. But individually, if, for instance, if I'm sick and I think that sickness is having a toll on me, living on this planet, the more I live on this planet, the more I harm myself. Then individually, I think suicide is more beneficial to me. But it, according to the society, it is wrong, which makes it two different things altogether. Now, as Switzerland have laws for people to come and commit, I don't know the name they have for it, come and come and eliminate themselves or to commit suicide. I think Switzerland have
Euthanasia.
those laws.
It's
Yes,
euthanasia. Euthanasia is the
yes,
process
it's
where
an
people terminate themselves and say, I'm tired, I'm done, give me the injection, bye bye.
yeah. This is a different country with these laws. So it makes morality somehow not universal because our laws currently, our constitution frowns upon it. And another example is the LGBT, the laws against the LGBT. Right now, Ghana have laws against LGBT and even against people who go on radio, TV, or the media to express their allegiance to LGBT people. But morally, universally, Ghana is a signatory to the Amsterdam Declaration. And the United Nations accept LGBT people, but it conflicts. Our parliament wants that kind of morality to conflict with the morality we have, because I think the constitution is a father of morality here in Ghana. So our parliament wants to be deliberate and conflict the kind of morality we have in Ghana with that of the United Nations. So universal morality must be deliberate and must be applied everywhere so that we will be free to move as human beings. Because what qualifies us from the other apes or other animals is our freedom, our conscience, and our ability to organize ourselves as a common species. So universal morality, as we said, exists, but in practice, it is not. And Kato, before I go, one more example about the Bible. It is written in the Bible, the commandment you were talking about Moses, do not kill. Yet, few pages or few verses from that do not kill are compelling the Jews to take arms and kill other people. And someone will say in times of war, no, if morality is the morality must be that. So if we shouldn't kill, we shouldn't kill. So if this kind of morality is coming from an almighty God, it's coming from an object that we should not kill, why then did the same God allows his chosen people to kill other people? So morality is subjective to society, but it deems on us to make it an objective reality for the safety of humankind. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You are done?
Yes, I'm done. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. Mambo, do you hear me?
Yes.
Having heard from the previous speakers, what's your take? Is morality universal?
Yes, I was just taking everything he has said. I just want to give an addendum to it. That it is supposed to be universal, but it is not universal. That is how it's meant to be. But now, because of our superstition, our religion, I think it is not working. Now, looking at this, like what Nana was saying, looking at the Bible saying, "Thou shalt not kill," and there is a country where the Christians believe that it is a holy land for the Christians, and they are now leading the world to kill another people. So if you look at the Israel and Palestine, and then they are preaching that thou shalt not kill, I think they are moving far away from what we are talking about, the universal morality. And then also there are questions I really would want to ask. These are like what we are talking about, committing suicide, and the dead body is not being expected because the person took his or her own life. But do we really ask ourselves questions? when these things happen, there are a lot of questions pertaining that incident. One of the questions is, why do this person commit suicide? Why? And then the second question is, what was he or she going through that prompted he or she to commit this crime? We call it as a crime because presently people are not really concerned about what is going on in another person's life. People are going through a lot. And because you are not concerned, you only meet the incident. You never knew what that person was going through. So the concept of, universal morality is not actually working. It is supposed, but we move away from what is supposed to happen to another thing. So it is not actually happening. It is not universal because some people there is war everywhere. And what is war? War is about, seeing another person as an enemy. It is either you try to kill him or you amputate him, which is not morality. So for my take is that the universal morality is not actually being, it is not universal.
Thank you very much. Now, as I said, this is a discussion. I have my own opinions, which I have put in my book, and I don't want to force them on anyone. And I just want to listen to people's views. That's why I did send you questions in advance that, oh, we are going to be discussing this. You just knew the topic, because I prefer to have people speak out of knowledge. Because once we know the topic is going to be morality, of course, we research about morality. Now, we are asking ourselves, is morality universal? But let us break it down a bit for our viewers, especially young people in Africa and all over the world, to understand exactly what we are talking about. Now, we are saying that morality helps us to decide if this is wrong and if this is right. And we agree on that. That basically morality is that in simple meaning. The measure, the yardstick, the benchmarks we use to determine that abusing someone is wrong. Therefore, it's wrong. That killing someone is wrong. Therefore, it's wrong. That prostitution is wrong. Therefore, it's wrong. That defilement is wrong. That sex outside of marriage is wrong. Now, people decide these things. The question I was asking was, is this moral code universal everywhere? Now, let me weigh in a bit. Back in Africa, there were things that by law of nature, we all knew they were wrong. By way of nature. For example, throughout the world, human beings valued life. Human beings valued life. So that's why when a baby was born, it was very rare that that baby would be killed. The most common thing was to raise this baby into a human being. It means that the morality of life, of protecting a baby, was universal. Yet, there were exceptions. In Nigeria, among a certain tribe, I'm going to remember it in a minute, when you produced twins, I am a twin. Twins are children who come more than one. There can be two, we are two with my brother. There can be three, there can even be 10. A mother goes into labor and gives you 10 children in one day. Now, those are twins. Now, in Nigeria, there was a tribe where having twins was considered an omen, a curse. And the twins, the babies, will be taken to the forest and dumped there so that they can die. They were taken as evil spirits. They were the bad gods. It was abnormal. How dare you to have two children? These are gods, and they are bad gods. Obasi, have you heard about that?
Yes. I've heard about that. It happened somewhere in Calabar and somewhere also in Benin.
Yes. I've researched and I've documented it. Now, you can imagine that whereas in Uganda, among the Bantu, twins are gods. And I've been saying that. Anyone can challenge me because it's a fact that in my family, up to date, I am treasured. There are things they do for me at my age in my family. And my family is not my mother and father. My family is extended. In Africa, as all of you know, a family is having 100 people. You are all what? Family, uncle, auntie, cousin, what? Now, in my family, when we have parties at home, even at my age, there are specific functions they do for me. There are things they wait to do before I come. And I'm telling you this on a serious note. Why? Because I am a twin. And they assume from our tradition that they are spirits that came with me, especially the second twin, because that's who makes the twins. All of you were born 1-1. That's why you are normal people. For me, I'm abnormal. I came the second. Now, in my tradition, I'm the main twin because I'm the one who makes you now. And this is true. Now, in my tradition, there are functions they wait for me to do. You get it? My aunties, my nephews, they will wait for me to do because in the family, we were the first set of twins. Now, why am I bringing this? That whereas in Calabar, twins would be killed. Where I was born in Uganda, twins were revered. They were gods. They were treasured. I'm telling you, my mother was given properties, so many things the day she bore us. My grandfather gave my father land immediately that the twins must have this piece of land. I grew up with property. And I don't shy away from saying that. Me, I grew up with property. I was given property when I was young. I never grew up poor. I grew up with property because I am a god in my family, and we are the first set of twins. So for me, as people are struggling, me, I grew up with already land for me because I am a twin in my family. Now, you can imagine why I bring this one up, that whereas in Calabar, they were killed in my family, and for many years, twins were revered, twins were gods. You get what I'm saying? Now, it goes back to the question I'm asking. Is morality universal? No. And yes. No and yes. Now, there were things which we all agreed on, that this is important. Yet, even when they were important, there were exceptions. That, for example, throughout Africa, people believed in childbearing. My brother, I won't say this, I was about to say it's so personal. When you don't have children, they will say, what's wrong with you? You are 50 years without a child? That's wrong. Yet my uncle, actually, he won't be offended, doesn't have children, he never got married, is 50 plus, and is happy. Okay? But back then, it was questionable. In fact, when you didn't have a child, when you died in my culture, they didn't pass through your body through the main door. They passed your door through the back door. I'm telling you my tradition. Now, it means that my tradition placed so much importance on childbearing. When a woman never produced, they never questioned the man. They always questioned the woman. When a woman produced only girls, it was a problem because girls were considered as second-class children. Therefore, every man, to be a man, had to be with a child who was a boy. Am I wrong?
Yeah,
You are not. It's everywhere in Africa.
it's everywhere.
And these things I speak, I may be like mad, I may be like talking to myself. So I ask you questions before I speak so much. Say, no,
No,
there you are wrong.
not to cut you short. In Ghana, in Ashanti region or in the Akan society, if you give birth and they ask you, "Wo nipa, did you give birth to a human being?" Which means, did you give birth to a boy?
Mm.
They don't ask. Yeah, they don't. Did you or nipa na like did your wife gave birth to a human being? That's the straight language we ask. So if
Thank
it's
you
a
very much.
girl,
Now you see, because me, as an African,
yeah,
talking with in the studio with Africans, I want to be as open as possible so that we can see how our cultures we are conflicting and how our cultures we are conflicting. Now you can imagine that we had a culture which blessed the male child at the expense of the girl child. But this culture was not for us only as Africans. In fact, this culture was all over the world. That's why even the so-called Bible and the Quran never counted women. I can tell you this, and I said it before in one of the shows, that Abraham had daughters. No one knows about them. Noah had daughters. No one knows about them. When they are counting in those days, a girl child was not a human being. He was not being counted. In a book of God, when we are mentioning the children of Abraham, the children of Noah, the children of Jeroboam, I'm talking about the Bible, they could list the names, and what you can only see is women, I mean men. Men. So and so produced this, so and so. Am I wrong?
yeah, it's true.
Then you begin asking yourself, so and so produced this, but this is a man. Who was he producing with? Not so.
Yeah.
Now, the question is, that was the morality of the time. That was the morality of the time. The morality that said a boy child is okay. But a girl child, no one considers that one. To the extent that even when we became responsible citizens in the US until the 1950s, women were not voting. Anyone can research it. 1940s, 30s, there, women were not voting. And of course, there are instances where Black people were not voting. Now imagine having an election. Well, you are going to vote for someone to come and become your leader. And you say, women, don't come. Black people, don't come. We shall vote for you. For you, we shall vote for you. Now imagine, is that morally right? To them, it's okay. Fast forward, let us go to South Africa. how the Boers, those Afrikaners, treated our own ancestors, who actually invited them peacefully, or they attacked them and they gave up, and they mistreated them for hundreds of years, to the extent that even up to 1990, they were not voting. They were not in the same schools with Afrikaners. They were not passing on the same roads. They could not sit in the same restaurants. And the entire world was okay with apartheid South Africa. And when I said entire world, the entire Western world was okay for a black man not to sit in the same restaurant with an Afrikaner, Boer. I don't want to call them white because they are not white. But it was okay. Are you getting what I'm saying? So the question is, if society can accept and say a black man must not sit on the same desk with a Caucasian, with an Asian, because a black man is inferior, is less intelligent, is less clean, and society accepts that, is that code of morality right?
No, it's not.
Mambo, I ask a question. Is that code of morality right?
It's not right.
Obasi, is that
Well,
right?
I say again, because since morality is about what is good and what is bad, so it is also your concept to do how you want to put it. Whether in your own concept it is good, yes. So the people who were doing it, to them it was right, and to the black it was wrong. That is how it is.
Obasi, what's your take?
My take is that it is not right. It is not right. Whether it is for the whites right and for the
They are
blacks
not right.
wrong.
Avoid giving them names that they don't deserve. They are not whites. They are
Okay,
Caucasian. They are
whether
whatever.
for group A, whether for group A it is right, and for group B it is wrong. It is not right because Confucius, what he rightly said, if they treat A that way, I will not like it. He shouldn't treat B that way. So I maintain that it is not right. It's wrong.
Good. Now, going back to me. Now, because I want this discussion to help us, but also help the viewers to understand exactly what is morality. That morality sometimes has been defined by the powerful. That the powerful have set codes to say, because I have the power, I'm Himurabi, or Homurabi, whatever you pronounce it. Because I am Moses, and God has told me this is ethically right. Therefore, all of you must say, oh God, you are right. Now, the powerful in society have always tended to define what is morally right. I've given the example of America, the so-called USA, and how it promoted slavery for over 500 years. I'm repeating, for at least 500 years. People will say 400 years, but for me, I put it at 500 years. Enslaving people. because of their skin color. But also, at one time, enslaving people of their own skin color. But because they were coming from the bad region. Did you know that Irish people were enslaved in America? It's history. Irish. Right here where I am, my neighbors were being made to be slaves for so many years that Italians were at one point enslaved, that Portuguese at one point were enslaved, that Spaniards were enslaved. Now, if people could make others their own slaves, because it's clear, slavery was not something against black people only. Whoever had power.
Kato, let me ask: were they as slaves as the blacks were enslaved, working?
No.
Work?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
No. What I can make clear is that it was not in the same period. You get it? It was not in the same period. For example, when the Moors took over Spain, Moors were from Africa, right?
Yeah.
They ruled Spain and part of Portugal for so many years. And at one point, they made them their slaves. When the Ottoman Empire was in charge and the Ottoman had the tax, they enslaved Hebrews. They enslaved so many people who were under their own control. Are we together?
Yeah.
When the Romans, who are basically Italians of today, took over power, they enslaved much of the world they covered, up to North Africa. Much of Europe was under the Roman Empire. And they enslaved people of their own skin color. All together. Because it was about who has power. Now, when the Macedonians, Julius Caesar, and others took over, they also had their own time. Now, slavery happened in phases, so much that even in Africa, where we had kings, do you know that our own kings enslaved us? Our own kings made us slaves. So because people normally look at it from the other side, no. Slavery was live and kicking in Africa. Live and kicking in Africa. My tribe was stronger, would go to a nearby tribe, beat them, kill them, and bring them as slaves for themselves, wives and young children. My own tribe did that over other tribes. My own tribe raided other tribes and stole their lands. My own tribe. My own tribe began as a tribe of 3 kingdoms, 3 chiefdoms. It became 9. How did they become 9? I think 13. By killing, by robbing, by terrorizing nearby tribes. My own tribe. Therefore, my own tribe made other people slaves. Out together. Now, to become a kingdom, it became. Then the Rene, the Ngoni, all of you know that history. The Zulu were invading others. Now, slavery is not something that was done in Europe alone. Never. Slavery was done right here in Africa. Now, the question we always ask is, was it right? Ma'am, was it right?
No. It's also right.
Nana, was it right?
It was never right. And we the Ashantis were the masters of slave masters.
You see? Now, we'll bring in the aspect of morality. the aspect of morality. That when my tribe was terrorizing other tribes, it was okay. You get it? For them,
Yeah.
because they were powerful, it was okay to go and kill others, get their women to marry them by force. Of course, they were raping them, defiling them. For them, defiling, raping out of war is okay. That is my tribe. Shameful. But that was the morality of the time. The winner takes it all altogether. Now, as we grow up and appreciate laws, international laws and all that, we begin asking ourselves, did what my ancestors do right? Was it right?
No.
Then we begin saying, no, it was not right. No, it was not right. Therefore, can I support it today? No,
No.
I cannot support it today. Now, that's why you begin saying that morality, number one, can be universal and not. Number two, can be subjective. Number three, can be objective. Sometimes we have what we call universal morality when you go into the laws that the UN, for example, has put for us. I'll have a Human Rights Council that have put for us a code that we all follow as countries. Okay? Where we know by the UN standards that number one, citizens have a right to exist. We have a right to life. But look here, our dictators in Africa kill us. Look at what's happening in Palestine, in Gaza right now, as we speak. Yet the universal law, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights says that all of us, we are guaranteed to live happily here. We have rights, we have duties, and we have obligations. Yet, our own constitutions, Nana, your constitution in Ghana has a right that it gives your politicians, it gives your judges to arrest you.
Yeah.
Now, if I have a right to live, why don't you take my right away and you arrest me? In fact, some of our constitutions up to now have the death penalty. Now, when you say killing is bad, universally acceptable that killing is bad, there are exceptions. There are exceptions where your life can be taken away. So the question would be, are these exceptions acceptable? And someone is going to say legally that if you kill someone and the Constitution says you will be killed, yes, it's acceptable. Then as humans, you ask, is the death penalty justifiable? Now we are thinking, because, okay, the Constitution says it's fine. Now, as humans, now bring in morality versus humanism. Now, going to you, Nana, for example, do you think that the death penalty is a good thing?
No, I don't. I don't think the death penalty is a good thing because it defeats the logic of saving the life of a human being, which is a humanistic principle. And moreover, with the killing aspect of it, there are some situations. For example, if an armed robber attacked me in my house, sh- shooting discriminately, trying to kill me. My human instincts or humanistic instinct also allows me to defend for myself by taking the armed robber down. So in this situation, for my individual morality or for my personal safety, the killing of this armed robber is justified because I have to be alive to tell my story. But in a situation where an armed robber has been arrested and the court the court is saying this armed robber is a danger to the society, this armed robber have taken lives, the court cannot go back on its constitutional rights of maintaining the life of the citizen by killing the armed robber. So with this collective moral ground, the armed robber shouldn't be killed. The armed robber shouldn't be killed to tell people that even the worst criminal within us wasn't killed. So people should refrain from killing each other. Because if the constitution allow the state to kill the individual, then it justifies killings, whether it is good or bad. In this situation, the armed robber is a criminal, is a menace to the society. The society wants to get rid of this armed robber, but killing him is not the solution, or is not the right thing to do, because it also undermines the principle of saving the citizen or any individual of the land. Thank you, Comrade Kato.
Thank you so much. Now, Nana, Mambo, we are talking about morality and of course being universal and all that. Now we have pointed out, we have discussed all those tenets as we have had them. For example, I've talked about penalty, death penalty. What do you think about it?
Death penalty to me is, is, is not right. Like Nana was saying, it is bad actually to kill a human being. Because let's say if you've come to kill me, the intention you came with to kill me, if I have a way to defend myself, I will, which is self-defense. But also, when you've been in the court of law for committing a crime or for killing another person, I think you being put in a place for for your lifetime will be better than you being killed. That the death penalty, to say, to me, is not right, because the person have committed a crime by killing another person, and then you are also going to commit a crime by killing the same person. He has already killed, and then he is in the court of law, and then you give him a death penalty. And you are also saying that they should kill him because he has killed. So is it that the crime he has committed is the same crime you are also going to commit by killing him? So to me, death penalty is not good, but rather a life sentence. You go and sit, you go and wait. You'll be in a place for almost the rest of your life. And then also it tells me that when you do your research, you visit a correctional center or a prison, you will find out that people who have stayed there for killing other people for years, like they've been there for 15 or 20 years, you actually find out that they live in a life of regret. They live a life that they were like they will want to turn back the hands of time. They will regret so much that they will actually ask themselves, why did I actually commit this crime? Why did this actually happen to me? So keeping them in a place will create a regret in their life than killing them. So to me, death penalty is not good.
Thank you very much. Now, I'm going to say this, and I bring one more element of morality. Then I will take you through slides, and then all of you will give us a concluding part, short. Now, we are talking about morality, and I want to remind the viewers that we are saying that morality is that ability for human beings to judge between what is right and what is wrong. Morality, that ability to discern and say, no, boxing someone is wrong, hugging someone is right. But actually, you can hug someone the wrong way and she can have you arrested. So you cannot be going hugging people. It becomes so immoral. Now, for example, look at religion, because we said the topic is morality and humanism. It's a very big topic. We cannot actually finish it today. We cannot even finish it. We're just touching here and there. Now, look at morality and religion, and we say that morality hitherto was defined by culture, was defined by religious beliefs, of course, was defined by traditions, and also the environment. I will tell you, also the environment would define morality. For example, I've gone to Dubai. Dubai is damn hot, really hot. That the morality of the Arabs in the Middle East told them to cover themselves. The wisdom to avoid the sand getting into your face and making you dirty, to reflect the sun. Putting on white was much smarter than putting on black. So I'm just giving an example that even the environment can define how you perceive what is right and what is wrong. So we are saying traditions define morality, culture, religion, environment, and politics. Politics define morality. Your parliament sits today and say, from today onwards, the age of consent has been lowered. In Tunisia, for example, in Egypt, I think the age of consent is between 15 and 17. You can Google it because this is a TV. In Uganda, the age of consent is 18 and above. Age of consent, I mean the age you are allowed to have sex with a woman, because there is no sex with a girl. That's defilement. Never, never have a sex with a girl. My friend, you will be arrested. In my country, someone must be above 18 years and she must have consented. Now, a parliament like in Tunisia and Morocco sits and says, for us, basing on our Quranic teaching, once a girl hits menstruation, she is ripe for marriage, and menstruation can come as young as 11 years, as young as 12 years. And then it's okay, for us it's okay, you can have sex with a girl who is 15 years. In Uganda, we are saying it must be 18 years. Now, this morality changing there. Morality when it comes to having sex has changed. How has it changed? In Middle East Africa, it is a religion defining how you have sex and when you have it, and the age of consent. In Uganda, it is culture but also our colonizers. What did the British tell us? Because they were our masters up to now, by the way. They still dictate to us. They told us that a girl is mature at 21. Did you know that? No, none of you is a Ugandan, but now I'm using my Ugandan law because my laws are set in Uganda. That a girl was actually mature at 21 years until our forefathers said, those who were in parliament in Constitution said, no, let us make it 18 because our culture, at least by 18, she's okay. But the initial law was that someone to be mature would be 21 years. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hopefully I'm making sense. Now, you can imagine that in Middle East, Arabia, thanks to Islam, once a girl has breasts and she starts menstruation, she is ready for marriage. I'm not telling a lie. I'm not telling a lie against anything. Anyone can Google that. Now, you can imagine that manner of judging morality. My daughter is 11 years, very young. She has nothing like a breast on her. She's very innocent. Now I begin imagining how a prophet of God would defile my daughter. She has no breasts. She's very innocent. She's 11. She has nothing to do with the world. She's just at school studying. She's in a boarding school. Now, for me, I say it or say it, if anyone did it to my daughter, my morality will stop that day because I will settle it with that person. Because sometimes also morality is going to be influenced by the way we think. There's no way I'm going to come and defile my daughter and I look at you like that. No, sometimes we are going to be terrible there. But we can imagine that a religion is okay to have a 10-year-old girl, a 12-year-old girl going into marriage. Yet for me, I agree with the British who had said 21 years. Because at 21 years, you are mature enough to understand whether you are ready for marriage or not. But my culture said, let us make it at 18. Finally, look at it from this way. The Catholic Church in which I was born, I put it in quotes. The Catholic Church has been the leading church of death. And I'm going to repeat it. The Catholic Church has been the leading church that promoted death for hundreds of years. In fact, the Catholic Church was more terrible than Islam. You can Google it, you can read it. It was more brutal than Islam. The Catholic Church only became obedient when the Ottoman Empire took over. And then Islam became terrible. Now we can imagine that during the time of Christianity and Catholicism, people were being burnt alive. All of you, I think you must have heard about that. They put you on a tree, they call them stakes, and burn you alive. Why are they burning you alive? Because you have said, I am heretic, I'm apostate, I don't believe in Christianity, I don't believe in Jesus. Because you have said, they have told you that you are a witch. In England, where I am right now, they were burning people on the stake in England here. And why were they burning them? Because they are what? Witches. Now you can imagine that the morality of those people that time thought that burning people alive, you burn people alive, was a fine thing. Yesterday, I watched a burning video from Gaza. Allegedly, they are burning soldiers from Israel. I think you have seen it. Some of you have seen it. Now, because the world is full of hypocrites, everyone is going to blame Hamas, which is wrong. What they did was wrong. But they don't read their own history to know that actually in their own countries, they were burning people alive. Are we together? Am I communicating? Yeah. That actually Hamas, what Hamas is doing is not new. What ISIS is doing is not new. What ISIS is doing, what Hezbollah is doing, what Hamas is doing was done many years ago by people in Britain, by people in Germany, by people in America, by people everywhere. They are burning people because of their religious differences. So whatever is being done today by terrorists is not new. People have done all those atrocities. But when they were doing them, it was fine to burn people alive. That's morality. The Catholic Church was a church of terrorism. The popes were gods. The popes commanded thousands and thousands of soldiers, and they blessed them to go and kill people. The popes, you can research it. This is a TV, and what I'm saying is going to be there for many years. People can challenge me. The popes married women. The popes had children. The popes killed others. The popes prayed and gave blessings to guns and swords. They pile guns and swords, and the pope comes and gives a prayer and sprays whatever they spray. And then after says, go and kill. A pope says, go and kill. Today, when they go in their churches and become holy, they want us to forget their history. And we say, we shall not forget your damned history. You killed millions of people. The Catholic Church killed millions of people. The same is applicable to Islam as a revolution. From 741 AD, 741 AD, it was terrible. Islam took over and killed so many people from those years. Now, we go back to morality. Look at the Catholic Church today. Do you know how many cases have been filed against priests for defiling, for sodomizing boys? Have you heard about that, Nana? Obasi?
Yes, I've heard cases. Yes, this is rampant in the seminary school. The priest, the priest defiling young people, young boys in the seminary, and it's also defilement of girls by the Catholic priest is rampant both in the seminary and also in the parish houses. So it's rampant everywhere. In fact, the cases that have been heard that get media outage are the ones, the persons spoke up. The persons had the courage to speak up. But there are lots of cases of such happening even now that people don't report. Maybe those people are poor or they don't have the confidence and courage to speak up. So it's rampant everywhere.
Thank you very much. There are cases in Australia, there are cases in France, there are cases in Portugal, there are cases in Spain, there are cases in Uganda of Catholic priests defiling children, of Catholic priests marrying. I'm putting it in quotes. In Uganda, I know Catholic priests who have children. Catholic priests who have children, yet their own morality told them never to mess up with a woman. Don't even touch a woman. But believe you me, there is even a secret I won't put here on TV. It's terrible because it happened to me. Not sodomy, no, but a Catholic priest took my girlfriend and actually made her pregnant.
Really?
I'm speaking
Funny.
it on TV, made her pregnant, and got children with her. Me, Katum Mukasa said it. They can take me to court if they want, but someone who is highly respected in a certain seminary, in a Catholic setting, took my girlfriend, made her pregnant, and had children with her. Now, this is the Catholic Church that I know. And I grew in it, and I went in Catholic schools, and I know Catholic priests that were sodomizing boys. I know them.
That is why personally I do not support missionary schools, especially all these Catholic-owned missionary schools.
Yes. Now, today I'm very hard a bit. I'm really hot. I've even said things I wouldn't have said, but because I want to bring, this is a secret I've kept for many years, and I'm on TV, and everyone knows in my family, knows what I'm saying. So no one's going to say I'm wrong. They know the person I'm talking about. They know the history, the girlfriend I had for so many years, and how a priest took her away from me, and how up to now they pretend that the children are mine when they are not. So now, this is a personal story, and this is a TV. It will be seen by many people at one point. So I know how bad these people are, and I also know how good they are. I have friends, as I speak to them, my children are in a Catholic school of my own brother. When I say brother, for us in our setting, someone from your clan is a brother who began a school and is a priest. And I love him and he loves me. And I was sitting on the same desk with him, my children in his school, and he's a Catholic priest. So not every Catholic priest is what? Is bad. But those others I know that are bad, I point them out. I know they have defiled children, they have sodomized boys, they have taken over women, they have fathered the children in people's wives. And they are the same people who put on the cassock, their own dresses, and preach morality. And preach morality. Mambu, be good, don't mess up, have one woman, blah, 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 don't divorce, when they are sleeping with people's wives. And we are here today discussing morality. We are discussing morality, but we are asking ourselves, do these people who tell us what is morally right, are they morally right? This is a question we ask. Are people who say homosexuality is bad and they kill others for sleeping with others of the same sex, are these people holy? Are these people actually doing the same things they accuse others to do? This is what us humanists ask. This is what we ask. That before, Jesus said that before you remove the log in another person's eye, how about the one in your eye?
Right.
Before I say that Mambu is a thief, me Katomukasa, am I not a thief? Am I not a defiler? Am I not a slanderer? Am I not a killer? So before I point fingers to Obasi, accusing him, there is a finger pointing back to me. It appears that the way I'm judging Obasi, the way I'm judging Mambu is the same way I'm being judged. So that is morality. It is subjective. It can be relative. It can be universal at one point. It can be not universal at one point. Let me tell you, what is morally right in China is not necessarily morally right in the US. No. What is morally right in the US is not necessarily morally right in Saudi Arabia. You can have your miniskirt in the US and the UK. You will never put on your miniskirt in Saudi Arabia. You can Google it. Whoever has it wants can Google it. You cannot wear a mini skirt. Women up today in many Arab countries, we are not allowed to drive a car. Simple thing as driving a car. Now, you can imagine which type of people are these that think that women are not worth it to drive a car. Just driving a car. Let us not talk about school, about rights, owning property, just driving a car to move from one point to another. Someone says a woman must not drive a car. Someone says a woman must be all dressed from up to down, so that you can actually see a woman is almost like blind because you cannot even see her eyes. You think she's going to hit you, but she's seeing you. She's covered from up to down. Now, to them, that is morality. To the Americans, to the British, that's not right. To me, that's not right. But you can see that morality can also be subjective. In other words, what is right in the US may not necessarily be right in China, may not necessarily be right in Russia. That's why we may have homosexuality accepted in England, yet in Uganda it's not. What makes me defend homosexuals as a humanist is that I know that these guys are innocent. Only that. I know that scientifically it is very much possible to be that way. But in my country, mambo, you don't mess up. You don't stand and say, me, I'm homosexual, you will be killed. You will be killed. So you have to hide yourself. Now, you can see in a nutshell, that is morality. And all of you have given your own take. But I was trying to make it a bit more expanded on those things that it's not universal, as people think, that it's relative, it is influenced by the politics of the day, by the environment, by the culture. So what is morally right in Uganda is not necessarily morally right in Kenya, just across the border. That marrying a woman in my tribe is so easy, but when you go to another tribe, it's so hard. I told you, I was telling Nana Kufo yesterday, that marrying a woman from Sudan, among the Dinka, you will have to get 100 cows plus. Don't dare with those beautiful women there. They are tall, black, but very expensive. That's why there was cattle rustling. Because people must steal from others to be able to marry women. Now, a person who goes to kill another person to take their cows, for them, they think they are doing a right thing. Not so. But the people they are killing are crying, are left orphans. To them, these guys are doing something that is morally wrong. But to the powerful, whatever they are doing is morally right. Not so. So morality becomes subjective. Morality varies. Morality is defined by the powerful and all that. Then let us have those slides in 5 minutes. Then I'm going to go back to the panelists. They are going to give their parting shots, and that will be it for today. Morality. Then let us have those slides. We shall actually have a few of them, not all of them, and then we shall be done. Now, that is morality. And when you look at, then as I speak here, now, these are the 10 commandments. All of you know them. They are very funny commandments here. I won't even read them, but all of you know the 10 commandments. Thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness, thou shalt not covet, thou shalt not kill. No, those are the commandments. One God, thou shalt not make unto thee image and all that. Now, then let us move on. Now, compare the 10 commandments with the humanist 10 commitments, then you will know who is moral and who is not. Humanists actually are morally superior than religious people. Look at our commitments: global awareness, responsibility, empathy, critical thinking, ethical development, peace and social justice, service and participation, altruism, humility, and environmentalism. Thank you, Dennis. That is morality for us. Look at these guys. Look at these guys. Look at these guys. They are indoctrinating children and they think that's morality, that they are going to get morality from a book which tells them to kill others. Being gay is not voluntary. Hate is. People hate gay people without understanding them. What does a gay people do to you? Those are symbolism for gay support, and I actually support gay people. Look at this one now. I was talking about morality. Which morality is this one? You keep someone veiled from top to bottom. And this woman is a bit rebellious, wants to reveal a bit of what is inside. These are prisoners of culture and religion. Look at these ones. They are in class. And they think this is morally right to keep them all covered like that. They think it's morally right. Now look at this. Look at how people define what's morally right. The short skirts, look at that one. Look at the first skirt plus the last one. Some religions think that someone to be morally right must dress from up to down, all covered. Yet some other people say, no, everything is okay. You can dress the way you want. Morality. They think that a snake spoke at one point, and for us, we think maybe there were two women, maybe there were two men. Look at that. You tell people about your gods and they are starving. You give them Bibles instead of giving them food. Which morality is that? Look at that. You come to us and say, we are worshiping the wrong gods. And we look at you, you're also worshiping a God nailed on the cross. Which morality is that? Why do you think your God is superior than ours? And they promise you hell. They say God is love. And then they tell you, if you don't worship that God, you'll go to hell. How fun is that? Look at that morality. It was, I think, Mambo or Nana talking about a bird feeding their children, their birds. That's morality. That's right. Then let us go on. Yeah, whatever it is, if someone is consenting and they are having an affair, it's okay. Because love is love. And we are encouraging people to think for themselves. Think for yourself. Put it on your cup and say, I'm going to think for myself. That's a very big photo there. Talent and unhealthy habits. Morality. Someone is going to say, oh, smoking is bad, but that's okay. But it depends on where do you smoke. Are you smoking before the public, before children? A couch. We shall talk about couch and all that. Then let's go to another very quickly. Look at that. If you remember that photo, September 11th, radical Muslims destroyed the Twin Tower in the US. And they were killing people in the name of Allah. And to them, that is morally right. But is it right to go and kill people? Fear is what they use to conquer everyone. And we are saying, forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. The choice is yours. Don't fear anything. Someone is fearing even their own shadows because morality has told them to fear even imaginary enemies. You think homosexuals are bad. So Warren Buffett says that look for three things in a person: intelligence, energy, and integrity. If they don't have the last one, don't even bother with the first one. Integrity is morality. Integrity is morality. Look at that, it will give you a meaning. Then let us go on. Linda Tilly tells us, avoid religion because it's going to divide you. Racism is bad. Tribalism is bad. Gender orientation is not a problem. Don't divide yourself against because of country, because of state, because of region or province. All good humans must unite. That is Linda Tilly telling us. And thank you so much for that. Thank you so much, Dennis. Thank you so much, Dennis. Thank you so much, viewers. We are back with Mambo. We have seen a summary of what I've put there. I want you to, in 3 minutes, honestly, to give your parting shot. You summarize everything.
Yeah. Looking at everything you've said and everything we've read about morality.
Mm.
Um, like I said before, morality is actually it is good when you think you are doing the right thing because a lot of people they do things based on what they feel or what they think is right for them and not considering the other part that is affecting negatively. And there are also people who are always positive about what they think and they don't think about what happens to, I mean, the effect it might cause. And this is what we are saying here that, like the story you tell, for the priest, the Catholic priest, he was very happy taking away your girlfriend. But
Mm.
to you, it was very painful. You were actually not happy because this is the girlfriend that you both have been together for years.
Yes.
And I know since you were together, you had many plans,
Mm.
you know, for the future. And then the priest just came in spite of all his oaths that he has taken that, oh, I will not get involved in women, I will not do this, I will not do this. And then he came in and took away your joy. To him, it was, I mean, he was happy and you were not happy. So this is what we are talking about morality. So because you are in power and then there is a saying in my country that, I mean, there's a parable which says that a king will always put a law when he is happy. That you always give a law when you think you are in a position, that you have the right to do this, that it is in your favor. You always put a law in your favor, things that are good for you, and you do not even consider those that is going to affect. And the same way goes to Saudi Arabia before this time that women we are not allowed to drive. Why? Ordinary driving. Why? Because to them, to the men, they thought it was good. Women should not drive. But to the women, it was affecting them because they also want to test it that they are supposed to drive. So actually, and even the slavery in Africa before, our kings were enslaving our people. To the kings, it was good because giving out slaves, I mean, it makes them more rich, it makes them more powerful, it makes them more superior. And then to those that were giving out for slaves, it was suffering for them. So morality is actually it's also, and if you put it together, it depends on your knowledge because for them those days it was good, but since technology is developing, since humanism came in, I mean since humanism, people begin to realize humanism, people begin to I mean encourage humanism, people begin to think more of that what was happening, it was wrong. So morality also depends on your knowledge, like cattle now cannot be just subdued. Cattle now cannot be just taken to, I mean, to any type of law because the knowledge of cattle is more wide. The knowledge of cattle is more humanistic. You cannot just say, cattle, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, based on what? The Bible or the law or the bylaws or the community law or your superstition because
Mm.
cattle doesn't believe in all these things. So the knowledge is I mean, the knowledge is more great. greater than whatever we think about morality, or because our morality depends on how you treat others or how you want others to treat you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Abasi, your conclusion on this topic for today.
Oh, thank you. Because of time, I wrote down my conclusion, so I will read.
Mm,
I said here that morality and humanism are identical twins.
mm,
While humanism is an elitist culture that holds humanity on a high esteem, morality is a principle that guides human conduct to ensure peace and harmony. For humanists, the origin of morality lies within us, humans, as evolutionary beings. So, when deciding how to act and how not to act, we should appeal to reasoning and rational empathy. This is to ensure pursuit of a happy life. You know, I've been saying it. Why morality is not universal is because it is the persons that are in the corridors of power dictates for us what is right or wrong. But morality would have been universal if we ensure if we are moral to ensure pursuit of a happy life. But those people want us to just you know rely on their be on their apron string and do whatever they dictate. That is why morality has become a relative uh, code, have become a relative principle and phenomenon. So going forward, I say that morality is it should not be appeal to mental slavery in the name of moral code as enshrined in some of these religious books, the Quran, the Bible. Morality should be subjecting ourselves to lifestyle and culture. Sorry, I said that morality should not be subjecting ourselves to lifestyles and culture that make us hypocrites, that create lopsided values. You know, some of these moral code we call Bible and Quran, they make us hypocrites. They make us have lopsided values instead of having humanistic values. Take for instance, like Comrade Cato said, a person will tell you, "Don't fornicate, don't sin." I took oath of celibacy. Then he or she, yes, you know, Reverend sisters also do that. He or she
mm,
will go ahead to, yes, to have sex in in private, in secret. Why
mm,
not just forget about this and forge ahead? Then follow the rules. Have consensual sex with a consenting adult, and stop saying sex is bad, this is fornication. Whereas after speaking in public because your holy book say this, you go to secret and commit the worst. So morality should not promote a culture, a lifestyle that make us hypocrite. It should not create lopsided values. It should create values that makes us sincere and honest. Yes, I will do this. I love sex, and yes, and I go for it. Not saying I don't love it, then in secret you do it. So then I said, I conclude that this is why religion does not promote morality at all, but promotes pre-classism. Yes, Comrade Cato, we understand the pre-classical theory in criminology.
that's
You
good.
know, yes, the religious people were the persons that promoted pre-classical means of punishing deviants. That we subject it, that we say that sin is as a result of being possessed by the evil spirit. So religion just promotes pre-classism and call it morality. No, morality is it should be a universal phenomenon that bring about a happy life. I keep saying it. Yes, definition. You know, they gave definition of morality that is that supports their own view of life. But I've come from a humanistic point of view to say that morality is not just discerning what is good, because what is good and evil is a bit relative. What morality should be is values that should bring about good living, happy life, sincerity, honesty, um, development. So that is it. Though the the religious people ignorantly try to hijack everything, including morality, but they are not moral at all. When you try to do good because of fear of hellfire, and what is in accordance with those things you call holy book, uh, you are not moral, because the same holy books will tell you kill infidels, whereas killing normally, human life is so sacrosanct. However, uh, using euthanasia, you can decide to, because the essence of life is to be happy. So when life becomes a bit unhappy, in order to promote a better, happy human, you end it. You end a life that will breed unhappiness. That is why euthanasia, some humanists approve of it. Yes, I approve of euthanasia. I approve of it. So when you do good based on something that is being dictated to you by a book, you are not you are not moral.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, Mr. Emmanuel Mambo. Thank you so much, Council Obasi. And of course, thank you so much, Comrade Nana Kufo in Ghana. We had Ghana, we had Sierra Leone, we had Nigeria, and of course, we had Uganda. And thank you so much, Dennis, for being a good producer for 2 days' show, and of course, all the shows we have been doing. And of course, thank you so much, the entire team we have been working with. We are happy we are having you viewers doing this, and please do share our shows, do like, do invite people to follow Humanist TV Africa, because we are the best at what we do. We are going to be coming back with a next program. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.